What's up, you all? Welcome to another fun-filled show. I'm your host. He is Blanchard, aka Free Blanche, aka Blanchard Damas. Um, today's title is called Beyond Beta: The New Transgender. It's entitled Beyond Beta: The New Transgender. Um, we talk about the modern woman, but we don't talk enough about the modern man. And the modern man is very dangerous because he looks like a man, he talks like a man, and in some ways he even acts like a man, but he has the spirit of a woman. Um, in fact, he has a spirit of Jezebel in him. Hence why I call them Jezebels. But beyond beta, the new transgender, we think that the guy that's wearing the wig and the lipstick and high heels is the dangerous one, but he's not. The guy that's dangerous is the guy that looks like a man, but is willing to destroy the world to elevate women. And when I say elevate women, I mean he wants to be led by women. Make no mistake about it. If you're in a relationship and the man and the woman are quote unquote equal, the woman's in charge. There's no scenario where men and women are equal and the woman's not in charge. The woman's in charge. If you think about it, if y'all are both equal, then who has all the leverage? She does. She's the one that will get pregnant. She's the one that has menopause. She's the one that has a period. She's the one that's emotional. She's the one that society says is right because she's a woman. So if you two are in a relationship and you're equal, she's in charge. But the new transgender is a very dangerous individual. He is very dangerous because he wants the world to be ruled by women. Now, I was sent this guy, and his name is, I think, the Public Offender. He's on YouTube and he's on TikTok, maybe on Instagram as well. But I was sent his page by someone, and they told me that this guy is the total opposite of you. I listened to him, and I mean, when you listen to him, I'm going to play some of his videos. When you listen to him, again, typical liberal, white people oppressing black people, America racist, shots good, mask good, Trump bad, Kamala good. Just your standard weak liberal man. He just checks off all the boxes. But he's also obligatory. Now, the modern man, the new transgender, his threat is a global threat because ultimately he will be the one to usher in the Antichrist because it will be a bunch of black men doing this. And black men are the greatest threat to the patriarchy because black men give another alternative to what it means to be a man. So when it comes to masculinity, when it comes to manhood, when it comes to what makes a man, black men give you the alternative to that. And so what I mean is that black men don't really exhibit manly or masculine behavior. They don't exemplify manhood. They look the part, and society wants you to believe that they are the part, but they're not. If you think about it, black men are portrayed as a quote unquote threat to the system, but that's done through propaganda. That's not actually what he's actually doing. That's just the media and propaganda and programming telling you that he's a threat without actually doing anything. If you notice, it's all about what he has the potential to do, but he doesn't actually do it. He's not a threat at all, though. What he is a threat to is the patriarchy, because it is believed that manhood has some other standard, and the black man makes that very clear. So most black men are weak again because they have an excuse. Most black men are weak because they have an excuse. They are going to blame someone or something, and most black men blame white men, just like most women blame men. It's the same concept. It's a woman's spirit. It's the Jezebel spirit. Now, I'm not going to say most women blame men. I'm going to say that this modern age woman is a blamer of men. But from a practical sense, I want you to think about the equality between men and women. And I want you to think about, if men were so bad and terrible, if men were so horrible, then how could there ever be a such thing as the women's suffrage movement? If men were so bad, misogynistic, and oppressive, then how could there be the women's suffrage movement? How could there be a women's liberation movement? How could there be first, second, third, and fourth wave feminism? How could these things exist without men signing off on it? If men hold the power, if men are in charge, if men are ruling over, if men are oppressive, then why would men allow things that gave women power? Now, as it pertains to black people, I want you to think about when black people were married versus when black people are not married today. I want you to think about when black people were married and where they stood in the country, and now where black people stand today in the country when they're not getting married. Now, keep in mind that marriage is the patriarchy, because in a marriage, a man is supposed to lead the household. So marriage itself is a patriarchy. It's not matriarchal. It's a patriarchy. So anybody going against the patriarchy is going against marriage. Let me say what's up to y'all real quick. What's up, Doug? What's up, Patrick? What's up, guys? Our awesome defender. What's up, Leatherface? What's up, Stanley? What's up, Neat? What's up, Just a Girl? What's up, Agonis Navi? What's up, Lynn Bell? What's up, Miss Goldie? What's up, Miss Donna Life Coach? What's up, Tierra Barnes? What's up, Janai TV? What's up, Leatherface? What's up, Mika? If I didn't already say that. What's up, Rena Bina? I got Tierra. What's up, Pamela? What's up, JV Chanel? What's up, Prudence? What's up, Joe? What's up, T? So what's up, y'all? Hope you all are having a blessed day. But I want you to think about the patriarchy. I want you to think about, let's just say, for instance, all of this has disappeared, that there's no social structure, that human beings are creating their own environments, their own societies, their own structures. There's no one government or state. Humans are doing their own thing. You got nomadic tribes. You got tribes that set up and build cities. You got people, you got it all over, everywhere. Now, I want you to think about, if we strip down what we see today, right? Do you think women will push to the forefront to be leaders, or they will become more domestic? I'll give you a better scenario. I wore this hat today in honor of the bear, because there's this thing online, about women saying they would rather choose the bear than choosing a man. Now, we all know that a bear is going to be a bear, and he's not going to care if you're a woman or not. But women are so delusional, they think that the bear is going to view them as a woman and not as a threat or just something in the way. And so they're saying we can choose the bear. This is how good society is. Society that men have created is so good that women believe they can choose a wild animal that will rip them apart over a man. So I want you to just imagine for a second a scenario where you have a man and a woman, and they're out in this world living off the land. They're not a part of any social structured environment with a whole bunch of people. There's no governments, there's no city governments, there's no public city works, none of that. It's just them living off the land. So my question is, in that scenario, who is the stronger individual? The man. Who is the individual with more stamina? The man. When the woman gets pregnant, can she protect herself? So I was thinking about not only the woman getting pregnant, but think about menopause, think about having a period every month, thinking about emotional ups and downs. Just think about her being a woman. You have a man and a woman living off the land. Who do you think gets tasked with most of the burden? The man or the woman? Now we're talking about being equal. And let's not play this game where we say, well, she can have the child and he can't. She can't have a child without him, though. So that's a wash. So you can't use she can have a child because she can't have it without him. So they're even on that front. So when it comes to procreation, they're even. Now, after procreation, who does the burden fall on? The man. The man has to protect her. He has to provide for her. He has to give her emotional support. Think about how great life is. Think about how great and wonderful this world is that men have created, that women believe that they have options, that women believe that they can say, I'm better than a man. I'm equal to a man. But in reality, you only feel that way because of what men have created. Without this social structure, women go back to being up under a man. Otherwise, you can't survive. So in other words, if there's a tiger outside the door, who is expected to get rid of the tiger? I'm talking about before we even get to relationship dynamics of who's going to cook, who's going to clean, before we get to any of that, if a tiger is outside the door, who is tasked with protecting the house? The man is. So before we can even get into a relationship, the man already has unwritten, unspoken rules. And the crazy part is, if a tiger was outside the door, the woman would expect the man to be the man. Isn't it funny how when it's any kind of imminent danger, when it's any kind of life-threatening crisis, when it's any kind of thing that will cause a great inconvenience, all of a sudden now women want to slide back into that domestic role. They want to slide back into being protected by a man. Isn't that convenient? But when they have a corporate America job, or they have a degree, or they got their own business, they're a boss chick, all of a sudden now they don't have those same desires. It's because it's really all a facade. This social structure was created by men. Once this goes away, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Yes, Neek, they pick and choose. The Titanic is a very popular ship, and it sank. The movie Titanic, which is a movie that most women love. You know, most women love stories involve cheating. It involves the woman making the wrong choice and then she makes the right choice. Even Hollywood knows. Even Hollywood will show you the nature of a woman. They just glamorize it. If you look at most of the movies that women love, they involve the woman cheating. If you listen to any woman talk about liberation, she's talking about having sex. She's talking about having no restrictions on her vajayjay, i.e. the slut walk. I can go down the list of all these things that women do, because the premise behind this is that there's no way that all these women could be lying about men. There's no way that all these women could be lying about men. But if we know all the movies that women love, it involves women cheating because Hollywood knows a woman's nature. There's no popular films among women where she waits till marriage to have sex. Won't see it. That's not liberation. You might see 40-year-old version for a man, but you won't see it for a woman. I wonder why. I wonder why Hollywood puts out intentionally movies of women cheating and they become cult classics. So they want to tell you that the patriarchy is bad and that men are horrible. So let's see what happened during the Titanic. Somebody said The Notebook. Exactly. Is another one. Remember another popular one? Pretty Woman. Wasn't she a prostitute? In Pretty Woman, wasn't she a prostitute? Life by Gabrielle says they don't mention abstinence and celibacy at all. I know they don't. Let's go to the Titanic. So the patriarchy is bad and men are bad. So if that's true, that means on the Titanic, there should have been a bunch of women offering their seats for passengers. If men are so bad and horrible on the Titanic, I should see men and women dying equally based on percentage. Because the premise is these women can't be lying. Women don't lie. And we all know that women get their talking points from other women or what the propaganda and programming gives them. They're not getting it from the Bible. They're not getting it from an older woman that has some wisdom. They're not getting it from that. They're getting it from social media. They're getting it from mass media. They're getting it from Hollywood. They're getting it from these podcasts. She is not sitting down and being still talking to God. It's not happening. So let's see what happened on the Titanic. How many people died on the Titanic? So on the Titanic, I'm going to go through so it is estimated that around 1,515 people died on the Titanic, including both passengers and crew members. The extreme loss of life and popular belief at the time that the Titanic was unsinkable left deep scars on the American and British populace. Of the 1,300 passengers, 812 died, leaving a survival rate of just 37%. 703 staff and crew members died on Titanic out of 918 total, leaving just a 23% survival rate. This means a total of over 1,500 people perished in the deadliest peacetime sinking in history at the time. My question for you all is, who do you think died the most on the Titanic? Now, in this male chauvinistic, male-dominated, oppressive world, in this patriarchal world, who do you think died the most? Now, keep in mind that men are bad. So if men are bad, the people that should have died the most should have been women, because men are selfish, they're not emotional, they don't listen, they have a cold heart, their egos are out of control, all these things. So let's see who died the most on the Titanic, since men are so horrible. Overall, about 1,349 men died on the Titanic when it sank into the Atlantic Ocean. This figure includes both passengers and crew members. In contrast, 323 men survived the Titanic and made it to safety. Male passengers, 776 men, 128 survived, and 648 died. That is a 16% survival rate. Male crew and staff, 896 men, 195 survived, and 701 died. That is a 21% survival rate. Interestingly enough, more male crew members than passengers survived the sinking of the Titanic. This could be due to the fact that the male crew members were assigned to be rowers in the lifeboats and were nearest to the lifeboats as the ship went under. How many women died on the Titanic? Overall, about 110 women died on the Titanic when it sank into the Atlantic Ocean. The figure includes both passengers and crew members. In contrast, 324 women survived the Titanic and made it to safety. Women passengers, 412 women, 304 survived, and 108 died, 72% survival rate. Women crew and staff, 22 women, 20 survived, 2 died, 91% survival rate. So you mean to tell me that these men made sure that 85% of women made it? These men made sure that, I'll say, over 80% of women made it. So that means that when men were faced with ultimate death, guaranteed death, they gave their positions up on those lifeboats for total strangers. Then to put the cherry on top, the women couldn't row the boats, so the men had to row the boats. So the reason why the crew even survived was because they had to row the boats carrying the women. Now they're telling you, this was back in, when this happened? Let me go back, see. Let me see what time period this was. This is 1912. So you mean to tell me in 1912, where the men were very oppressive and the women were oppressed, it was male chauvinism everywhere, it was the patriarchy, it was bad for women. You mean to tell me that these men gave up their life for total strangers? There is no event in history where you will find women in mass numbers giving up their life for men. You won't ever see it. But they're equal, though. Men and women are equal, but you can't find these types of acts among women. Why not? Why not? I'll tell you why. Because it's not in a woman's nature. That's why. Men and women have a nature. What this machine is trying to do is trying to convince you that men and women don't have a nature. They're just merely acting based on whether they are oppressed or whether they are the oppressor. Make no mistake about it, women have a nature and men have a nature. And the abomination comes when a man has a man's nature, but he has a woman's spirit. Now we have an abomination. Now we have Frankenstein's monster. The only reason women are able to stunt today like they do is because of men. Men had to sign off on women's suffrage. Men had to sign off for women to vote. Men had to sign off on women's liberation. Men had to sign off on first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and to infinity waves of feminism. Men had to sign off on everything, even transgenders. Men and women are equal. Men and women are equal. But we can all agree that for 9 months, she needs someone to protect her. And then she needs time to recover after she gives birth. So we can agree that a woman at some point in time in her life is going to need a man. Umaquai said men coordinate the looks of celebrities like Madonna and Cardi B. You're right. Think about all these women that we see, and look who's behind them. It's men. Who do you think is dressing these women? Men. Who do you think? Like, it's literally man behind. They always say there's a behind every strong man, there's a strong woman. Let's flip that. Behind all these women y'all look up to, there's some men behind them. They may be LGBTQ, they may be whatever, but it's men behind them putting together their wardrobe, writing their songs, all kind of stuff. The WNBA is a subsidiary of the NBA. The NBA pays for WNBA. It doesn't make any money. Now, you tell me that men are so bad, but the majority of WNBA fans are men. Now, you would think that women, since they're so righteous and good, that they will support the WNBA, but they don't. The men do. These oppressive men, these misogynistic men, these men that only care about the patriarchy, these men that have fragile egos, these men support the WNBA, but the women don't. Just make it make sense. Just make it make sense. But let's get started. This guy's name is the public offender. Okay. Here we go.
So tell me if I'm lying. The same group of men that voted for Trump are and is the same group of men who comes on my lives every day and tries to gaslight me into believing that it's not all men, right? And I'm not saying that it literally is all men, but that's always their thing. It's not all men, and it's never the men that they know, and it's no man in their circle. They don't know any abusers. They don't know any felons. They don't know any deadbeat daddies. They don't know any rapists. They don't know any child molesters. Like, it's always them. They never know these men, right? They're never the men in their group. But Trump is all of those things. This is the same group of men, like I said. It's the same group of men that voted for Trump. Don't try to, that ain't the same group of men. It's the same fucking group of men. The same group of men that be running around the internet talking about it's not all men and none of my homies are the same group of men that will publicly come out for Trump and say that they love Trump and they align with Trump, and they can't tell you a policy that they align with, but they just align with Trump. So what did y'all align with? You mean to tell me that none of your homies are that guy, but you would vote for that guy? You would put that guy in office? you would make that guy the leader of the most powerful country on the planet? That's what y'all want me to believe? It actually makes more sense for you to have a homie that's a deadbeat dad in your circle, or a homie that was abusive in your circle, because maybe you grew up with him, you have a personal relationship with him. There is no fucking reason for you to vote for a person like Trump, unless you are like Trump yourself.
Now, the irony of what he's saying is that he's saying that Kamala Harris is good. Now, I want you to think about what he said. So he listed a bunch of negative things that have not been proven about Donald Trump. Even in his sexual assault case, he got sued because he called her a liar. And then they said it was defamation of character. But he doesn't know that because he's emotional. Again, this is the new transgender. He looks like a man. He sounds like a man, but he has a woman's spirit. He's way more dangerous than a transgender. At least with a transgender, you can see it. They say they want to be women. They're not. But this guy right here is more dangerous because he'll put the battery in the back of a he'll go to war for a feminist. He'll go to war for a Jezebel. He will. Now, he won't go to war to fight China. He won't go to war against Klaus Schwab. He won't go to war against the WEF, the UN. No. He won't go to war against any global powers, but he will go to war to defend the right for these women to be out here being reckless and crazy. He'll go to war for that. But you notice Trump bad, Kamala good. Now, throughout his rantings, he is not going to mention women's nature nor their behavior. That's totally left out. And we can go to statistics, but women, this is what he's saying, that most men are quote unquote the deadbeats, the rapists, the abusers, the anything negative. That's most men. Now I know he's hurt because he has his mother's spirit in him. I get that. I know that. So really, he's speaking. It's really a spirit behind him speaking. It's a spirit of blame the man. The Bible says that the devil is the accuser of his brother. So we know that it's a spirit behind him doing this. But this guy is very popular on a lot of followers on TikTok, a lot of followers on YouTube. So this guy has a good little following. He does. But if you notice, his whole premise is the men are bad, women are good. That's his premise. And if you think about it, that's what women are saying today. Because society and the programming says that women are innately good. That's the programming. Women are without fault. And then they dumb down. They step on it even further when they say, because men have been so bad, women should be allowed to be bad now. Because men were so oppressive and so mean and so cruel in the past, women should be able to be crazy now. Leatherface said Kevin Samuels caused a glitch. Oh, no, he did. And what you got to understand is this. I don't think this guy is LGBTQ. I don't. But you got to understand that, like I said, if a man has not settled his loins, meaning that he has not said, I'm going to refrain from sex and I'm going to walk with God, he is never going to understand a woman, ever. The understanding of women comes from not sleeping with them. Because then you get to see a woman's nature. You're not going to see her nature sleeping with her because she'll be able to hide it more because you're having sex with her. Emotions, soul ties, spirits, it's fun. It's a lot more confusion. But if you don't sleep with her, you will be able to observe her nature and it'll be quite clear that of what women actually are capable of, good or bad. Either way, I'm not saying it's all bad. And I'm not on here saying that women are bad. I'm saying that women have a nature, and that nature is like the animal kingdom, meaning that this guy right here, if he's dating a woman, she's going to cheat on him. She gonna cheat on him. Why? Because in her nature is to destroy what? A weak man. That's in her nature. That's why you never see women take it easy on simps and cucks. You never see it in betas. Women destroy betas, cowards, cucks, and simps. They may date them, they may marry them, but they torture them the entire time. So this guy right here, he's getting destroyed by women. I'm talking about destroyed. Destroyed. But I will send his information. I will send him. But let's continue.
See, there's something interesting about politics, right? The thing about politics is that it is the code to our lives, right? So no matter if you care about it or not, if you think it doesn't affect you or whatever, it does, and it will, right? And most working class people are affected the most by politics, right? And one thing I know for sure about the red pill movement is it is a movement rooted in right-wing ideology, without a doubt. Like
he can't even tell you where the red pill movement started. T says the modern woman wants to be a kept woman and a city girl at the same time. It's like moving oil and water. Yes, because that is a woman's nature. It is chaotic. That's why she's supposed to be following a man. This is why. The man is supposed to guide, provide, and assume responsibility. The woman is supposed to do what? She is supposed to respect and honor the man. She was created to be a helpmeet. Relationships were created by God for men. Man chose to give the woman a certain status in a relationship. God said she is to be a helpmeet. But Adam came back and said, let me just show you what Adam said. I know I'm beating a dead horse, but hold on one second. Let me go back. Let me go back to 2. Genesis chapter 2, verse 18. And the Lord said, it is not good for the man should be alone. I will make him a helpmeet for him. And out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air and brought them unto Adam to see what he could call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. And Adam gave names to all cattle and to the fowl of the air and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found an helpmeet for him. And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which the Lord God had taken from the man made he a woman and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. This is what Adam said. So we see that when a righteous man, let me go back to one scripture. He that findeth the wife findeth a good thing and obtain favor from the Lord. So when Adam got Eve, that was essentially a gift from God to him. And what did Adam turn around and do? Adam placed the utmost importance on the woman, because Adam said, based on the scripture, that therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and he shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. God didn't say that, Adam did. So you see, when it is a righteous man, this is what happens. The problem is that these women, like T says, they want to be city girls and they want to be kept by a man. They want chaos. So what they do is they go out here in this world and they pick these guys based on what they feel, based on what it looks like, but not actually what it is. This is why most black women that have children, they don't have children with 50% of black men. It's a smaller number. So you can see a black man have multiple baby mamas. So you see a black man have multiple baby mamas. The number one demographic for single mothers is black women. The number one demographic for stepfathers is black men. What does that tell you? Let's continue.
Vast majority of red pillars are also staunch right-wingers, black, white, or otherwise. But this shit right here is fucking hilarious. Because this will directly affect passport bros. Without a doubt, this will 1000% affect passport bros. And I just find it to be so hilarious that already, before Trump has even gotten into office, I've seen the very people that was out here talking about cope and liberal tears and all that dumbass shit after Kamala lost. They are already negatively being impacted by his proposals, by his policies, and by the judges he already had appointed and the judges he will appoint. Like, isn't it ironic?
So, of course, it's not going to affect passport bros at all. It's not. Matter of fact, let's just go to something real quick so we can just air this out. So we can get this out the way. So we can get this out the way. Let's just.
A very actually interesting statistic on this front from ICE this week. 97% of the deportations that this administration has made thus far are of individuals who had a removal order from the previous administration, but were never removed from the interior of our country. So this shows that the previous administration was actually defying our laws, and all this administration is doing is simply following the laws, the immigration laws of this great country.
So passport bros will not be affected by any of that. Again, I was sent this guy. I went through his content. I just thought, I came up with Beyond Beta, the new transgender, because that's what he essentially is. He's a transgender. He's just the actual transgender. But let's continue.
To be getting trolled. This comment is in response to me talking about how women do like the vast majority of the domestic labor and the emotional labor in a relationship, right? And I listed off like a bunch of things that women do. And I was comparing it to what men do outside of the home, talking about like, or comparing it to, like labor outside the home. And I was like, domestic labor is harder than labor outside the home because it never stops. And it's more important because there's more writing on it. You know what I mean? You're raising kids, you're caring for other humans. And after I said all of that,
I want you to think about how he thinks like a woman. There is no domestic work without the man working. This is not just liberal logic. This is modern woman logic. He said that domestic work is more important than regular work, but you can't have domestic work without the man working. The most important aspect is the man wanting to provide for the family. Notice how he just skips over that. He skips over the man providing for the family. If you look at most marriages, the man gives the woman all the good stuff. She gets what she wants. This man said the emotional labor. What is the emotional labor? That sounds like a bunch of chaos and foolishness. What is the emotional labor? So he skips over the fact that this couldn't be made possible without a man being a man. So the man is providing for her to have this emotional labor and do all this domestic work. Without him, it doesn't take place. It doesn't exist.
I gotta be getting trolled. This comment is in response to me talking about how women do like the vast majority of the domestic labor and the emotional labor in a relationship, right? And I listed off like a bunch of things that women do. And I was comparing it to what men do outside of the home, talking about like, or comparing it to, like labor outside the home. And I was like, domestic labor is harder than labor outside the home because it never stops. And it's more important because there's more writing on it. You know what I mean? You're raising kids, you're caring for other humans. And after I said all of that, and I broke all of that down, this is what he responded. Enough said. What else is she offering after that? What else is there? What more do you want? She gave up her body for the kids, and all her energy is poured into you and the children and herself and maintaining the household. What else do you want her to do? I'm very curious at this point. Are you saying like she should do that and still work? Like, is that because I think that's the whole argument here, is that women are doing two jobs. Well, they're fulfilling two roles, right? Because most women work and most women do all the labor in the home, or the vast majority of the labor in the home. So to me, this just proves that men are like, I won't say gold diggers, but they want it all. Like, men want it all. You expect a woman to be a submissive provider. That's what he wants right now. This is crazy.
So again, his argument is that men want a submissive provider. So if we look at most marriages are where the woman and the husband works. It's because they agree they want a certain lifestyle. That's why she's working. She's not working to provide for her family. They want a certain lifestyle. Now, of course, when men and women they're lower income and they need two incomes, maybe a different scenario. But if you think about most households that people are married, how many of the households where it's just one-sided? Because the married couples I observe, the man does all of the intensive labor stuff in the home. So that means if he doesn't wash dishes and wash clothes, he does everything, like fix the plumbing, the toilets, the grass, the roof. Like, he does all of the intensive labor stuff in the home. If the car needs to be fixed, he fixes it. He gets her car washed. Like, so again, this guy is skipping over what these men actually are doing. And he's trying to simplify to fit his argument, which is a lie. We all know that most men in the house, if there's a leak, if the roof is leaking or something's wrong with the house, the man's going to fix it. So for every dish she washes, she don't have to go down underneath the house and fix a pipe. For every piece of clothing that she folds, she ain't got to fix the toilet. She don't have to fix the roof. She don't have to cut the grass. So again, I can tell that he never grew up around a real man. I can tell he's from a single parent, black household, and he has his mother's spirit. So his world purview is from that of a scorned black woman. Let's continue. CEO Deborah said, I kind of agree with him because that's how modern men and women have been taught to role reversal. But whose fault is that? Women wanted that. Even if it's a role reversal in society that men had to sign off on, women still wanted it. Women said, we want to be equal to men. This is what they said. But equal to men means you all should open the door sometimes for a man. You all pay for the first date. You all pay for the wedding. You see, all this stuff sounds good in theory. But what they can't circumvent is a woman's nature. There is no woman on this earth that will ever respect a weak man. Any woman that he is with, she does not respect him. I was talking to a guy one day at the gym, and my boy asked him, was he married? And he said, yeah. I said, oh, your wife is a feminist. And he's like, man, how you going to say that about that man's wife? He's like, man, my wife ain't no feminist. I said, I know she is. I said, she black? He's like, yeah. I said, she feminist. He said, man, no, she not married. So he just trying to tell me how he do this in the house and she do this. And then, so then when my friend leaves and it's just me and him talking, he was like, man, you was right. She did say she was a feminist. I said, I know. I said, I know that the average black woman is a feminist because she runs the black community. So all the propaganda and programming that's out there, it goes to her and it's actually true. This is why black women embody the Jezebel spirit. It's because they run the black community. They run black politics. They run the black church. They run black education. Black women run the black community, which is why it's also in shambles, but they run it. So the average black woman is a feminist. Make no mistake about it. The average, think about it. Just look at voting trends. Most black women, more than any other group, black women voted for Kamala Harris at 90+%, more than any other demographic. So that guy tells me after it's all said and done, yeah, man, you're right. My wife said she was a feminist. I said, I know. So even this guy, he's a feminist. Even in his arguments, he's just skipping over facts. He's just skipping over things that are apparent. You got two liberals getting married, no telling what their household's going to be like. You show me two liberals being married, I can't tell you what the household will look like, but I know when it comes to black men marrying black women, the women run the household. That's a fact. The women run that household. Biblically Sound said, I paid for everything for 12 years and I love it because God blessed me to be able to do it. Not all women are the same. Shake my head. But guess what? Biblically Sound, he doesn't mind paying for everything because it's in a man's nature to honor. He gonna honor the woman because it's in a man's nature to love the woman. That's his nature, because loving a woman is what brings out the best in a man. Respecting and honoring a man is what brings out the best in a woman. So you're never going to see a truer love than a man loving a woman or a man loving his children. You're not going to see anything greater than that. You're not. That's his nature to do that, to be that way. And because leadership requires that kind of devotion. That's why. Men operate better when they love. Women operate better when they honor and respect. That's how God designed it. But that's balance. So if you're a man out there, you would rather have a woman honor and respect you than love you, because women, again, women kill 3 times more than men for love. A woman loving you don't really mean too much, because her love for you is going to be competing with her time spent with Satan, talking to the devil. But if she honors and respects you, then she will listen to you. She will allow you to guide her and lead her. But what motivates men the most, what brings the best out of a man, is for a man to love the woman. That's why we're supposed to love the woman like Christ loved the church, for a reason. This is why when you look at parenting, single mothers versus 2-parent households versus single fathers. Now let this guy, what's his name? Let me get his name real quick. The public offender. Now the public offender believes that the men are bad, but the studies show that single parent households ran by women are a literal detriment to society. The children are more likely to be on drugs, not be educated, have a low-paying job, etc., go to prison. Like it just the list goes on. But isn't it ironic that a single-parent father and a two-parent household almost have the same results? How is that possible? If men are so bad, how is that possible? I'll tell you, because it's in a man's nature to love. For God so loved the world that he gave. And God's not a man, I'm just saying. God is a spirit. But God can also be flesh through the Messiah. I'm trying to make this make sense, but for my point, what I'm saying is that the attributes that God has are attributes that are in a righteous man. I'm not talking about betas. I'm not talking about low character men. I'm not talking about these low character guys. And to argue against his point, most men are not molesting children. Most men are not thieves. Most men are not murderers. Most men abide by the law. Most men are not these evil and wicked creatures. It's not true. It's not true. Most people don't commit crime, men or women. Most people aren't abusers. Most people aren't doing these things. So to put that percentage of the population, and let's say it's 20%, how are you putting that 20% over to 80%? It's no more than 20% though. Let's continue.
I hear everything, bro. I just feel like there's a disconnect here. All I'm asking for, all I want to know, you said you want women to be held accountable. All I'm asking you for is to give me specific examples as to, like, what do you want women to be held accountable for? That's all I'm asking. Can you do that for me?
Yes, so I can. So women have to be accountable for what they control. So what women control is what they should be accountable for. So what women control is who they sleep with, who they give their bodies to, who they give their time to, who they give access to. That's what she can control. So I hold women accountable based on how she governs her body, how she governs her mind, how she governs her ears. So for instance, there should not have be close to 70 million abortions since 1973. There should not be almost 70 million abortions in the US alone since 1973. Whose fault is that? Because ultimately, who decides whether or not the man sleeps with her? The woman does. Who decides whether or not she gets an abortion? The woman does. So the two things that women can control, which is her vajayjay and the abortions, has resulted in almost 70 million deaths. I'm not even talking about the postpartum stuff. I'm not talking about women unaliving their children at a higher rate than men. I'm not talking about that kind of, I'm talking about just the abortions. So again, when you look at what women can control fully, look at the results. Now, when women had quote unquote equality and freedom and equal rights, why the marriage rates drop? When women had freedom and equality and all those good things, why did the marriage rate drop? The many of you all will say, well, it's because the men were oppressing them. Now they have freedom. Because the women could still go marry a beta. She could still go marry a simp. Like she could still go marry a non-oppressive guy. But she doesn't. But she doesn't. You know what she does? She becomes chaotic. She doesn't know what she wants. And again, this is what men created for women. Men created the social dynamics, the political dynamics, all of it. So now that women have complete autonomy over their bodies, what decisions are most women making? They're not waiting for marriage. They're not being asked. Matter of fact, let's go to the Black community. Black women, since he said they're so wonderful, Black women lead the nation in abortion, in divorce, in single motherhood, in STDs, and obesity. Now, how is it possible for the most single group of women to be at the top of almost every single negative category? How is it possible for women who are the most single women probably in the world, Black women, with a marriage rate of 27%? So most Black women are not in a marriage, which means they're single. So how is it that all of these single Black women aren't living their best life? How is it that all these single Black women are leading the country in abortion, obesity, STDs, divorce, single motherhood? Oh, let me top it off. And their children can't read or write or do math on grade level. Isn't it funny how with no men around, the women go straight to the bottom? Isn't it funny and ironic that when men are out of the picture, the women go to the bottom? But let's continue.
Please answer the question, please.
Because what are you doing out here? You really got to assimilate your mind. You feel me? Like, what are you doing? You got to stop participation. Whatever. You got to stop potassium. And just continue with your life. You feel me? Because if you ain't doing nothing out here, you ain't doing nothing. You feel me? So stop potassiating and you feel me? And, you know what I mean? If I can do it, anybody can do it. Because I came from the bottom. I was living in puberty. You feel me? In the projects, living in puberty. So if anybody can do it, I can do it. You can do it. For real. Like, it's the same thing as if you a baby mama and you ain't got the baby and your grandma got the baby, then the baby the grandma.
Oh my God.
Grandma the baby. You gotta be continent in yourself. If you're not continent in yourself,
Sir.
there ain't nobody gonna be continent.
Sir.
Everybody gonna have continent in you.
Sir.
Like, whatever. But you know what I mean?
So let's get off of him for a second because he can be quite exhausting. But I do have some more videos.
I mean, who started this? What effeminate man started this?
Yeah, Adina, I figured he was trolling because I figured he was trolling. But the guy's playing the video to make it seem like this is how dumb men sound. But yeah, the guy's trolling, yeah.
Started this? What effeminate man started this whole thing about what does a woman bring to the table? What table? It's my table. I built it or I bought it. And I furnish it. I provide the banquet. I provide the feast. That's my table. I don't need someone to bring something to it. You're a guest at my table. That's what a man does. You provide. Everything that you acquire, everything that you accumulate, everything that you achieve, you're supposed to be achieving for the sake of being able to provide. That's the nature of a man. To provide. Where's your hospitality? Can you imagine? This isn't a potluck. This is my feast. This is my banquet that I'm providing for my guests. And if I do my job properly as a host, then it's very easy for you to do your job as a guest. That's the nature of it. This whole concept of what do you bring to the table? And you think that's manly? To declare to the woman that you need something, that you need her to bring something to the table because you're inadequate without her bringing something? No. You're the one who provides. That's supposed to be the nature of the relationship. You provide, and she's appreciative and respectful and respectable.
Okay, so what he's saying sounds good on the surface, but his message is actually beyond beta, and I'm gonna tell you why. The concept of what are you bringing to the table came from these women who are not feminine, who are not domestic, requiring the man to be traditional. So if you come to me and you say, Blanche, I want to be, just out of order, but Blanche, I want to come eat at your table. Now, I provided the table, the food, the silverware, the courses, the serve. I provided everything. So when you come to that table, what you are to bring is you being a woman. The problem is that women are saying, I'm coming to the table as a boss chick. I'm coming to the table loud, aggressive, rude, not feminine, not domestic, not submissive, unladylike. Now I'm going to ask you, okay, well, if you're not bringing what the table's being prepared for, which is a woman, then what are you bringing? If you're not bringing a woman to the table, then what are you bringing? So again, when he's talking about she's supposed to sit there and enjoy it, no, the woman has a role too. Like I said, what brings out the best in a woman is respect and honor. So that means if I didn't prepare this feast, prepared this table, did all this stuff, what should she do? Just be appreciative? Or should her appreciation result into action? A woman's appreciation, if she truly respects and honors you, will always be in the form of action. I know a guy that was he was dating a queen, and he was spoiling her. And one day they went to the Nike store, and he bought her 3 pair of shoes. I get it. You know, it feels good to be able to provide for your woman. I get it. You know what? She didn't even say thank you. If you asked her if she loved him, she gonna say yeah. They were together, a good, great looking couple, everything you want. But when he bought those 3 pair of shoes, she didn't say thank you. Now, why didn't she say thank you? Because she don't respect him. Because she doesn't respect him. Because women know deep down inside what they deserve and what they don't deserve. They may not tell you, but they know. And as a man, if you give her what she innately knows she doesn't deserve, she's not going to respect you. She's not going to respect you. It's not in her nature to do so. So if you're not going to bring being a submissive woman to the table, then I'm going to ask you, then why are you coming to the table? Maybe the statement should be revised. Not what you're bringing to the table, then why are you coming to the table? If you're coming to just eat, don't come. Don't come. Miss Tiffany said once he saw she was ungrateful, he should have dumped her. Well, he said, you didn't say thank you. And she said, I thought I did. Yes, I did. Just lie because she don't respect him. Because she doesn't respect him.
Remain quiet while she's expressing her points about me. Everything she just said may be wrong. She may have accused me of cheating. She may have accused me of all kinds of things. But guess what? This is her truth in this moment. Let me shut the up. Let her say what she needs to say. When she's done, reflective listening. Baby, you believe the reason I came home at 1 o'clock last night because I was over my baby mom's. Is that how you feel? Do you believe that? Okay, let me try to prove it. You see? Let me try to prove to you that I was not there. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The problem with us, because most of us was raised by women, we get a little bitchy. You see that? So when our queen get bitchy, we want to get bitchy right back. That's not the behavior of a man. That's not masculine. Masculinity says she's in her pain. And because she's in her pain, I'm going to validate her even if she's incorrect, because I don't ever want her to feel that I don't understand where she's coming from.
Now, what Umar Johnson, now listen, the person on here, her name is, this is her page, got a lot of followers, Erica Stanton. Now, Erica says if a man can do this, he will have a deeply fulfilling relationship. He absolutely nailed it. If a man does that, he will be destroyed. If a man does what Umar Johnson is saying, he will be destroyed. Umar is saying this because he wants to sleep with women. He doesn't do this. Umar is telling you this. I'm listening to you, baby, but you're in the room with 10 other women. Umar's giving you advice that he's giving you, but he's not prefacing it with the fact that he believes in polygamy and polygyny. So he's sitting in front of one woman, but it's 10 behind him. And if he gets tired of this one, he can just go to that one. See, all the advice they give men is advice from a woman's perspective. This is bad advice. You're not going to accuse me of something I didn't do, and I'm going to let you sit there. No, I don't know. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to interject immediately. You at your... No, I wasn't. What he wants you to do is sit there, let her get it all out, all that foolishness, just for you to say, that's not true, and then she gets to get it all out again, and next thing you know, out of a 60-minute window, she's spoken 55 minutes, and you just spoken 5 minutes. That's what happens. His method, she speaks 55 minutes in an hour, you speak 5. And at the end of it, she's going to say that you're wrong still and that she's right. It's called chaos. Listen to him. Listen.
To remain quiet while she's expressing her points about me. Everything she just said may be wrong. She may have accused me of cheating. She may have accused me of all kinds of things. But guess what? This is her truth in this moment.
I don't listen. It's either the truth or it's a lie. All that her truth stuff is going to get a man strung up. And again, he has multiple baby mothers. You should not take advice from a man who cannot control his anatomy. He will always give you advice that favors women. He will never give you advice that favors the relationship. I'm telling you that what he's saying is utter foolishness. Let her sit there and lie. Let her sit there and be wrong. Let her sit there and get it all out just for you to rebuttal, and she go on another rant. Because women can do this. Women can talk for 10 minutes straight. You talk for 20. 10 minutes straight. You talk for 20 seconds. 10 minutes straight. You get 5 seconds. So again, it's foolishness. We can have the best conversation in the world, but it has to be based in truth. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to come to you with lies. I'm not. And I'm going to honor what you say. What I'm not going to do is let you put me on this chaotic emotional roller coaster. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to get off immediately. Immediately.
Let me shut up. Let her say what she needs to say. When she's done, reflective listening. Baby, you believe the reason I came home at 1 o'clock last night because I was over my baby mom's. Is that how you feel? Do you believe that? Okay, let me try to prove it. You see? Let me try to prove to you that I was not there. You see?
Let me try to prove to you that I was not there. You know why? Because she doesn't respect him. She loves him, but she doesn't respect him. If she respects him, his word is bond. If she respects him, his word is bond. But if she loves him, she's going to put him on trial. See the difference? This man just said, I got to prove to her I wasn't at my baby mama's house. And we all know he was. So he about to lie to her. Men that talk like this have low character with women. They just do. Men that talk like this, they don't stand on any principles because they still want access to vagina. I'm telling you that a man has to spend a long period of time without having sex with a woman. If he does not do that, he will always be ruled by his loins, which means he will always be ruled by that woman.
What I'm saying, yeah. The problem with us, because most of us was raised by women, we get a little bitchy. You see that? So when our queen get bitchy, we want to get bitchy right back. That's not the behavior of a man. That's not masculine. Masculinity says she's in her pain. And because she's in her pain, I'm going to validate her even if she's incorrect, because I don't ever want her to feel that I don't understand where she's coming from.
King Cole said, sounds like jumping through hoops to me, and I cannot and will not do that. Amen. That's exactly what it is, King Cole. It is literally jumping through hoops, emotional roller coaster, so y'all never get to resolve the issue. And the issue is she talking to Satan. That's all. It ain't nothing. It ain't rocket science. She talking to Satan or talking to Satan through the form of her homegirls. That's it.
There has to be all in. That's why you have a marriage vow. Because the marriage vow is basically this. No matter what you tell me, I won't run away. And that's a bitch of a vow, man. Because when someone unveils their whole heart, they unveil themselves all the way down to hell. It's not pleasant. It's awful. And so they need to know that you will not run away. And that's a vow, because what do you know? Look, the person's always going to be thinking, always, if you really knew who I was, you wouldn't love me, you wouldn't be with me. And you know, hey, fair enough, because people are full of snakes. And if all those snakes were revealed, perhaps the logical thing to do would be to run. And so then you might say, well, why not run? It's like, well, you want to run from everyone for the rest of your life? You want to forego the advantages of a permanent relationship? And you're full of snakes too. So you're both making a bad bet. And so you make the bad bet based on the idea that if you are faithful and you are truthful, that you can resolve the issues, and you can. It's a good deal.
I'm going to play it again to dissect what he was saying. Let me play it again. Play it one more time. Let me see if I can dissect what he's saying.
All in. That's why you have a marriage vow. Because the marriage vow is basically this. No matter what you tell me, I won't run away. And that's a bitch of a vow, man. Because when someone unveils their whole heart, they unveil themselves all the way down to hell. It's not pleasant. It's awful. And so they need to know that you will not run away. And that's a vow, because what do you know? Look,
So I'm going to say this about that. So the vow doesn't count if you're torturing the man. I know women are insecure about the man leaving. If he finds out who I really am, he's not going to want me anymore. But trust me, the man has already studied and examined you. If he's worth his weight in gold, he has. The man has already accepted you. The problem is that you trying to torture the man is the issue. When I say torture, I mean this unnecessary emotional chaos. It's unnecessary. Trying to get him to prove that he really wants to be with you, to prove that he loves you. That's foolishness. If that man chose you, he chose you because he loves you. So again, these marriage vows aren't that you're going to torture me and I can't run away. No, that's called a terrorist. I don't negotiate with terrorists. We're supposed to honor our vows, not just with someone leaving, but even while they're there. So guess what? I'm going to try my hardest not to stress you out. You should try your hardest to stress me out the same way. But we're not going to sit there and say that because we took vows, I get to be a torture rack. No, it's not going to happen. It is a woman's job to control her emotional chaos. It is her job to work on it. It is a man's job to be unselfish, to be selfless when it comes to his wife and his family. So we both have a burden to bear. But what's not going to happen is the man doing his part and then you saying, oh, he can't leave, I'm going to send him through hoops. It's not right. Just because you are emotional or have emotions doesn't mean you always got to stress somebody out with them. It doesn't mean that. You should be trying to be better for both the men and the women.
The person's always going to be thinking, always, if you really knew who I was, you wouldn't love me, you wouldn't be with me. And you know, hey, fair enough, because people are full of snakes. And if all those snakes were revealed, perhaps the logical thing to do would be to run. And so then you might say, well, why not run? It's like, well, you want to run from everyone for the rest of your life? You want to forego the advantages of a permanent relationship? And you're full of snakes too. So you're both making a bad bet. And so you make the bad bet based on the idea that if you are faithful and you are truthful, that you can resolve the issues, and you can. It's a good deal.
I get what he's saying. I just think that in a relationship, we should be trying to be better. So whatever I was when we first got married, after year one, I should be better. And couples should do this. Couples should give each other a grade at the end of the year. You don't have to, be honest. What grade do you give me for this first year? I'm saying, baby, I give you a C+. Now she's gonna try to get an A next year. She said, baby, I said, what I get? She said, baby, I give you a D-. Now I'm trying to get an A next year. I think it's good to be honest like that. How do you feel I did? And guess what? What each other says shouldn't be detrimental. Babe, you did good. Babe, you did bad. Babe, you was okay. Babe, you made the honor roll. Might be good.
Sorry for the women today. You need to be making estrogen to attract the right guy. And if you're not making enough estrogen, you could be pursuing the wrong guys. This is just what happens. The men that you're pursuing are almost always the wrong guys. The good guys who approach you, if you don't have a lot of estrogen, they're going to seem boring to you. These women, they're never going to be good enough. These women say, I look everywhere, all the best men are taken. No, the best men are out there. They're always there. But you don't see them because your hormones are not.
Now, notice Erica says, here's an interesting theory. This is Erica now. Now, if you go to her page, this is one of the least in her, and from this video on up, it's like a lot more views, but this video ain't that viral. What this guy is saying, that the author of Men Are From Venus, Women Are From Mars, or Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, what he's saying, most women don't want to hear it. Listen to what he says. And look at Erica says, here's an interesting theory. Why don't she agree with it? Because Erica's chaotic. That's why. Listen to what he says. Thank you, Ronnie. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Biblically Sound said, I was trying to repent and my wife tried to cheat back. We both have to try to get an A. Y'all both got to try it. Try to cheat back, huh? That's funny. Erica is the girl whose page I got this from, Erica Stanton. Let's play it again.
So sorry for the women today. You need to be making estrogen to attract the right guy. And if you're not making enough estrogen, you could be pursuing the wrong guys. This is just what happens. The men that you're pursuing are almost always the wrong guys. The good guys who approach you, if you don't have a lot of estrogen, they're going to seem boring to you. These women, they're never going to be good enough. These women say, I look everywhere, all the best men are taken. No, the best men are out there. They're always there. But you don't see them because your hormones are not being produced where you see that, oh, I like this kind of a guy. Because when your estrogen is low, you're attracted to a man who's not available. That's it. You're attracted to somebody you have to please. See, as a man, when I'm on my male side, I'm attracted to a woman who needs my help. Okay, that's it. That's why you're attracted to a woman. Women need to feel very much loved. Not that men don't, but women need to feel that they're a priority, that they're seen, that they're heard, they're not ridiculed, they're not minimized, they're not neglected, they're not ignored, These are some of the key things that women complain about. They feel like he doesn't really care or he gets angry, even though you only get angry when you care, but it's not a way to demonstrate caring.
So, King Cole said, your wedding vows should be an everlasting continuation of traditions and standards you already are performing. Exactly. And honestly, what should change from so let's say you get married on Monday. What's going to change on Sunday to Monday in your relationship? Nothing. Like, you should still be putting him first. He should still be putting you first. Like, I mean, that's what we're talking about. It should be the same thing. What this guy said was interesting. He's talking about estrogen, but he's talking about being feminine, being in your femininity, producing estrogen, being a lady, being a woman, not running around here trying to be a boss chick or trying to be liberated or trying to compete with a man. This is what he's talking about. You're saying there's no good men out here. I never hear the prostitutes say that. I never hear the 304s say that. I never hear the thots and the bops say that. I never hear the strippers say that. I never hear the women in the industry of sex say there's no good men out there. Now, how is it women that see the worst side of men still know there are good men out there? And these other women who are supposedly they know so much, they're so good, they keep running to the bad guy. It's perspective. Because the women that are in the industry, they see both sides of the men. They've been around the men with character and the men that aren't. They're able to see men reduce themselves to a human ATM machine for whatever they want. I mean, like they see the worst side of men. But then they also meet a guy that doesn't do that with them. And it's a stark contrast. But my point is that if you leave it up to women, they won't be able to pick a good guy. And it's because what women look for in a man doesn't involve character. You will be hard pressed to do an experiment and let women go out in this world and pick the guy. I guarantee most women fail miserably, because what they look for in a man does not mean he's a good guy. Think about it. If he looks good, if he can make them laugh, if he has a good career, he got him. Think about what I just said. If he looks good, has a good career, he can make her laugh, he's going to get her. He could be a serial killer with those attributes. So again, most women cannot pick a good guy. They can't. This is why I tell you all, to make it easier for you all, there's two types of men in the world. That is wise and foolish. That's wise, but guess what? You're going to have to be a woman that's kind of wise to know who's foolish and who's wise. Because if you don't know, you won't be able to tell the difference. I got one more video. I got one more video.
I'm not here to be embraced by men. Allah got me. I walk around with jewelry, all that. No.
Hold on one second, y'all. Let me see if I can find another video. There was another video I wanted of him talking.
The black man's value is his history. What is the black man's value? Well, we created math. We're the fathers of civilization. We're the fathers of medicine, mathematics, psychology, sociology, martial arts, strategy, war, economic, like aerodynamics. The value, the list of the things that's on the black man's value sheet is longer than the Great Wall of China. And the problem is there's a fear of white genetic annihilation. So colonizers and oppressors and white men, for lack of better words, they're afraid to be erased by us. So what they're going to do, they're going to try the best to devalue us, use their platforms, use their media, right? They're going to try to over sexualize and hyper-emasculate our women, then emasculate us, right?
That might have been the worst take I've ever heard in my life. Listen to the question.
So the black man's value is his history.
The black man's value is his history. In other words, it's nothing. In other words, it's nothing. Didn't I tell you all that the most dangerous thing to the patriarchy is the black man? Because he makes the world believe that there's an alternative to manhood. This man just said the black man's value is history. Nothing tangible today, but history. And then he quickly goes into blaming the white man. The black man is weak. You all are going to be hard pressed to find a black man not making excuses. I keep telling you all this. He's going to be blaming somebody or something. And this is what makes the black man not fit to lead. It's because he has an excuse. And a man with an excuse will never build. He will only destroy. God doesn't give us any excuses, but guess who does? Satan. Let's play it again.
So the black man's value is his history. What is the black man's value? Well, we created math. We're the fathers of civilization. We're the fathers of medicine, mathematics, psychology, sociology, martial arts, strategy, war, economic, like aerodynamics. The value, the list of the things that's on the black man's value sheet is longer than the Great Wall of China. And the problem is there's a fear of white genetic annihilation. So colonizers and oppressors and white men, for lack of better words, they're afraid to be erased by us. So what they're going to do, they're going to try their best to devalue us, use their platforms, use their media, right? They're going to try to over sexualize and hyper-masculate our women, then emasculate us, right?
The irony of this guy being named smart, but really being dumb. He doesn't know anything. What he knows is foolishness. What makes the black man believe that the white man is afraid of him if he can put any type of device in front of him and he's going to succumb to it? White men are the least afraid of black men. Think about what he's saying. He's saying that white men are able to put something bad in front of black men and they'll indulge in it. There is no way the white man is afraid of the black man. It's no way. He even said himself that what the black man offers is history. Nothing tangible today. So you mean to tell me that the white man is afraid of a group of men who are filled with excuses, who don't build anything, who blame the white man for everything, and if he's not blaming the white man, he's blaming the system, and if it's not the system, it's the country, if it's not the country, it's the black woman. You think he's afraid of a man that he can set anything negative in front of, and that man will indulge in it to the point where he would destroy his own community. I'm going to say that again. He believes that the white man, the all-powerful, the all-knowing, the almighty white man, is afraid of a group of men who he can set almost anything in front of, and they'll indulge in it to the point of destruction and damnation and death. For this guy to be called smart, he's rather dumb. The black man is weak, and you will be hard-pressed finding a black man out there that is not filled with excuses. And if a man has an excuse, he is not fit to lead. Why? Because if a man has an excuse, he will make what is righteous optional. So when it comes to leading, he will make it optional. When it comes to being a man, he will make it optional. When it comes to being a father, he will make it optional. When it comes to being a husband, he will make it optional. And when it comes to following Christ, he will make it optional. The black man is weak. Thank you, Idris Singleton. Thank you, Blanche and moderators. Thank you so much, Mr. Singleton. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Pamela, thank you so much for the super sticker. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. T, a dove for the Sabbath. Peace. Happy Sabbath. Thank you, T. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Listen, I love you all. I'm going to do part 2 of this on Tuesday. You know, as much as I get on the feminism and the modern woman and all this stuff, these men have played a part, especially the black man. The black man is the greatest threat to the patriarchy because he actually not only does he give another option for what it means to be a man, but he also makes not being a man look cool. This makes the black man very dangerous. Listen, you all, I love y'all, and I will see you all soon on Monday. Thank y'all. Love y'all.